Hello everyone. Today we are going to do 10.11 translation of sine and cosine. So we learned how to draw the graph of sine and cosine, but now we are going to translate them. So let's start with a simple the sine curve. So now you have one equation y equal to negative sine x over 2. So do you remember how to find out amplitude and period? So how do you get the amplitude? Amplitude is what? The distance or length from the center line to the maximum or to the minimum, right? Where do you get the amplitude from the equation? Yes, here. The coefficient of the sine function. If you don't see any number, what do you have here? Yeah, you have 1. But amplitude is a distance. It cannot be negative. So everything becomes positive, absolute value, right? So -1 becomes +1. And period, you should remember the formula. What is the formula? 2 pi over the coefficient of variable x, right? In the parentheses. So what is coefficient of variable x? X over 2. Over 2. This is not 2, right? It's over 2. What is over 2? What is up on the numerator? 1 over 2, right? So 2 pi divided by 1 over 2. 2 pi is the same with what? 360 degrees. So 2 pi is a radian. 2 pi divided by 1 over 2. When you divide the fraction, what do? You multiply by the reciprocal of the fraction, which is multiply by reciprocal over half is 2, right? So 2 pi times 2 is 4 pi. So you will have like this. So you know how to put into the calculator. You can, in the calculator, you can look at the shape, but the calculator will not give you exact intervals, right? So you know that from 0 to 4 pi is a 1 cycle, right? The period give you the length of 1 cycle. So 4 pi from here to 4 pi, you should know. And what did I say? You should divide this period by the 4 intervals. So 4 equal parts must be here. So make a even intervals. Intervals must be even. So you should divide into 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you divide it? First, from here, I go to the center here. This become half of the 4 pi is 2 pi. And then make another half. This is what? Pi. And then here, 3 pi. And then you draw the graph. But what happens? Sine start from 0 in the origin, right? And go up. So each interval, you go to the highest and back, right? To the center. But what happened? This go down and back. What happened? This graph flipped over the x-axis. Why? Oh, it's because of negative here, right? Because of negative, positive value become negative, negative value become positive. So negative made this graph flip over the x-axis. It's like a reflection over x-axis. So instead of going up and down, say going down and up and go. See if it, so look at this shape, right? Sine curve, and it continue this pattern. So going now, if you go down, so, but you can look at the calculator, then it'll be easier. But just remember, first interval, in this case, pi, go down and back to the center, go up, back to the center, and repeat this. But you are supposed to draw the one period that will be from 0 to 4 pi. Everybody get it? Now, let's go to our original translation. So translation, when you translate your graph, equation will look like this. Y equal a times sine in the parentheses x minus b plus c. As we know, a give you the amplitude, period 2 pi divided by coefficient value of x. You don't do anything with this b for the period. Nothing to do with this b. Coefficient of x. So 2 pi divided by 1 will give you the period, which is 2 pi, right? And then now, translation rule is the same with any other function we learned before. So x minus b, then your entire trigonometry, the sine curve shift. So for x, to the left or right, right? Left or right, horizontally move. So b unit, there's b unit minus b unit. To which direction do you move? Minus originally is left, but it's x is opposite. Yeah, so b unit to the right, right? B unit to the right. And y outside c, it goes up or down, right? If it is plus, y is the same. X is opposite, y is the same. So plus c, c unit up. If c is negative, go down, right? So with our example here, y equal 2 times sine x plus pi minus 1. So we know amplitude is 2, period is 2 pi. And so first, let's then make a period from 0 to 2 pi you are going to draw and divide this whole period into 4 parts, right? 4 equal parts. Interval must be now from here to is a pi over 2, right? Pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. And this graph, sine x, y equal to 2 times sine x, you are going to translate this one to which direction? Pi unit to the left, right? That's why it's negative pi. This will be the starting point, right? So this will be the starting point. So, and then what happened? Minus 1 goes down. So when you go down, you move the center line to here. So you are so center line, originally you were here, this was the center line. You didn't need to draw this one, but when you move it up or down, you need to draw the center line. So center line is negative 1, right? The dashed line, negative 1. Now, then your sine curve start from where? When negative pi, sine is starting from the center line 0, right? From that you are going to start here. Okay. And then what do you do? If you look at the calculator, so what each interval, so here goes to the highest value, amplitude is what? 2. So 2 unit go up, 1, 2, up to here, right? It'll go up here, and for 0, another interval, go to the center line, go down, go back to the center line, right? So let's just see with the actual graph like this. So from here, center line is here, negative 5. You start from negative 5 and negative 1, right? Start from here. For next interval, this is a pi over 2. Even though it looks confusing, okay, this is pi over 2, 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi, okay? So you start from negative pi and negative 1. You start from here, right? Sine curve. So for next interval, you go up to the highest value is amplitude 2. So from here to here is 2 unit. So 1. From negative 1, 0, oops, 1, right? And then another interval, what happened? Go down to the center line. And then another interval, keep going down. and go back to the center line. Yes. So from negative pi to pi, this is the one cycle for sine curve, right? Negative, because 2 pi is a period. So you have one cycle. But if you need to draw the graph up to 2 pi, you continue this pattern. Go up, down to the center, and then this is 2 pi, right? And then go down and keep going. The sine curve keep going like this. So do you understand? Okay. So most like it's like this when you translate the sine curve. So now if you go to the Google Classroom, please answer this question. So y equal to 2 times sine x minus pi over 2 plus 1. Explain how you can find amplitude, period, and what is the translation rule. Can you answer in the Google Classroom? Now, let's try with this one. Y equal to 2 times sine x minus pi over 2 plus 1, which is same question. But now you know what is amplitude. Yes, it's 2 period, same. 2 pi over 1 is 2 pi. So what do? You divide, so you need 4 intervals, right? From 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here will be 2 pi. Before we had a 4 pi, but no. Here will be, no, 2 pi, right? Yeah, 2 pi. So 1 pi over 2 pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. And then what happened to the center line? Goes up by 1, right? So you need to draw the center line here and then take a look. So after you draw the center line, amplitude is 2, so goes up 2 units. The maximum will be 3. From here goes down 2 units. Minimum will be -1. So you can write down. So 3, -1. So let's see the graph. Like this. So you have a center line here, right? And 1. And then where do you start? You translate pi over 2 unit, 90 degree, pi over 2 unit to the right. So you start from here, but sine curve start from the center line, right? So pi over 2 and 0, which is 1. Now you start from here. When you go pi 1 interval up to here, go to the highest, and another interval, go down to the center, and another interval, go down. You are here is 2 pi, but if you want to finish one cycle, go back for another, interval. Here will be what? So 2 pi plus pi over 2 is 5 pi over 2, the radian. And you can continue with, the same pattern. So do you understand? Okay. So first, what should you do? You better, draw the center line with the dashed line and find the amplitude, find the period, and label x-axis and y-axis. So when you label x-axis, how do you find that the 4 intervals, right? From the 0 to period, right? In one cycle, you need 4 parts to draw the graph. That you should remember. Okay. So now, so you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. Finish this, and exit ticket is here, and please email it to me. Okay. Not this one. This is not this.